and the governor's race is where they're litigating it.
So there's a couple things going on here. First of all, it would take a lot for a Democrat to win a statewide race in Oklahoma. A million different things have to break their way. And for Joy Hoffmeister, a lot of those things are breaking her way. The incumbent is very unpopular. There's corruption concerns that have scared away a lot of independents and a lot of sort of soft Republicans. And then there was this October surprise, this decision by the 5 chiefs of the biggest tribal nations in Oklahoma to get behind the Democrat. Here's what I found when I was in Oklahoma looking at this race. Joy Hoffmeister barnstorms Oklahoma at the head of an unprecedented political alliance so potent she could soon become the Sooner State's first Democratic governor in more than a decade.
We have 12 days until Election Day. All right? Who's ready? Okay?
Oklahoma's 5 largest Native American tribes issuing an unprecedented joint endorsement of the state superintendent, Hoffmeister.
It's historic, truly humbling, but it actually signals the fact that there's so much at stake.
The current governor is the most anti-Indian governor in the history of the state of Oklahoma.
That's a big statement.
It is, and if you go back through history, the bar at different periods of time is fairly high.
Tribal leaders say that Governor Kevin Stitt's aggressive push to renegotiate the state's gaming compact and his opposition to tribal sovereignty on other issues has made this an existential fight. Stitt's campaign responding to NBC News in a statement that the governor has, quote, worked to create more fair opportunities for all sovereign nations and all people who call Oklahoma home. What's at stake in this race for the Choctaw Nation?
For us, it's a question of our sovereignty, and if we ever lose our sovereignty, we fail to exist as a tribe, as a nation.
16% of Oklahomans identify with at least one Native American tribe, the second highest percentage of any state, and a powerful voting bloc if they are united, which Cherokee Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin predicts they will be amid a major voter education push by the tribes.
There's been no more unifying force in Indian country in Oklahoma than Kevin Stitt. He has rallied us to the cause of defeating him, and I've never seen anything like it.
Hoffmeister's biggest challenge here might be simple math. There are more than 400,000 more registered Republicans in Oklahoma than there are Democrats. Donald Trump won this state by 500,000 votes in 2020. Hoffmeister herself was a Republican until last year, switching parties to take on Stitt, and even attacking him from the right on issues like crime.
The fact is, the rates of violent crime are higher in Oklahoma under your watch than in New York and California.
With polls showing the race a dead heat, the Republican Governors Association is now spending 7 figures on TV ads, reminding voters Hoffmeister is a Democrat now and linking her to President Biden.
American energy is under attack. President Biden and Joy Hoffmeister are leading the charge.
The governor's not the only person getting outside help on the airwaves here. There are dark money groups that have spent something like $25 million on this race, Chuck, to boost Hoffmeister to take down Stitt. There is so much money in a race that would otherwise be quite sleepy.
And what's interesting, you said she's running to the right a little bit of him. Is it on what issue specifically?
Education. She was the superintendent of schools. She's run to the right on him on protecting rural schools. You saw her hit him on crime there. She was right on the fact check, by the way.
Boy, that was just a humiliating moment there.
Brutal for him. He tried to laugh it off, and it doesn't play that way. And she's also tried really hard. It's interesting, you talk about the difference from the national environment. She's a much more moderate position on abortion than the rest of the Democratic Party. She talks about how she is personally pro-life, and then is kind of squishy on what kind of restrictions she would want to have in place, but says Stitt goes too far.
It's interesting. She shared a ticket with Kendra Horn, who's the last Democrat to hold a congressional seat in Oklahoma not that long ago, who also was on the conservative side of things.
And I'll tell you something else about this race. The tribes aren't backing Horn or anyone else down ticket. This is about taking out Stitt more than it is about somehow like supporting Democrats across the board, much to the frustration of Horn and the other Democrats running statewide.
I'm sure. Into the release.